Hi everyone, it's Kate from the Paper Shed. Hope you're all doing well. Thanks for coming back and joining me today. We got to where we did our belly band, and I just loved the way this page came out. So much so that I have put a pocket belly band in a similar frame on the front of my cover with some lovely pieces of vintage ephemera. So I'm quite happy with that. My tabs, I wasn't 100% with them. I've gone round it and I've darkened the edges that I didn't like, but I'm still not completely okay with it. I don't know. I don't know whether I like it or not, but they're there to stay because I can't really do anything else. So I'm so happy with this. Now, I did get Andy's evidence board done. How fabulous is it? So thanks to Mary for the idea and for Mandy for recreating it. It's superb. I just absolutely love it. Now, I was going to put string on mine because of my acetate, but in the end I went with the faux boo-boo tape purely because I'm using it throughout of the journal, so I just wanted to keep it into sort of the same sort of frame. So what I did was I had to take the middle page out, and I've repurposed obviously my acetate and pockets and things, and I've just recreated it. So I hope you all enjoyed it because I think it's absolutely fabulous. We've not got much more to do now with this particular signature. So I'm not going to do a video tomorrow. What I'll do is I'll do a recap for Friday. I think that might be the best way to go. So what I'm planning to do today is, or what I've got left to do, I should say, is my back page, which I've got something planned for that for now. And then we've got this page, which is our evidence. I want to do an evidence pocket. Do I want a pocket or do I want a flip? I think I actually want to do a flip. I think I'm going to do a flip. I haven't done many flips. And although I've got something planned similar to that on the back page, but I think it'll fit. So I want to do this, and I'm going to stick it on like that, and I'm going to use that as a tuck spot for some other evidence pieces maybe. So I'm really loving the way that this is coming together, and at the moment it's not too bad. I think we managed really to keep it into a sort of containable area. And I just wanted to show you these. The end of last week I put these into some ink, and it didn't work out quite the way I expected it to. So I've had, over the weekend and up until today, I've had them lying in some vinegar, just some white vinegar with a bit of salt. And I was told that it would work, but I think you have to leave them in for quite a long time for it to work. But I actually quite like it. It didn't take all the ink off, but it's taken it off in places. And I actually quite like this. It looks like blood spatter on the police badge. So unless we lost a policeman along the way, I don't know where we're going to be able to use that. So I've got some keys and I've got some of that. I have already used the handcuffs in another area in the book, so I'll show you that when we do the flip through. So I just wanted to show you those. So the vinegar does work, but you do have to leave it and be more patient and leave it for several days, even weeks, I believe. So I've not done it before, that method. So yeah, that was the outcome of that. So what we'll do today is we're going to do this evidence. Now, this isn't going to take many minutes, so all we need to really do is just stamp it up a little bit. Okay, so all we need is, I need a case number, and I've already done one of these, so I'm using the same case number. So I'm just going to pop the case number there. Then, the tissue. Then I had the department number. We'll just pop that there. I want to do it a little different, but I just need to use the same numbers because it's all relevant. That's upside down. I'll put that one there. And then this is upside down again. I want to put that there because I've used that as Libby's police number. And then I just want to get this condemned on, which is upside down again. And that needs to be red. So I'm just going to put this across here. I don't really know why we condemn it when it's evidence, but it's the only big stamp that I've got with something on. And then what I want to do is I just need some words. I just want a word stamp, which I know I've got here somewhere. That'll do. It only needs to look viable as in the description there. I don't know why I get that. Never mind. Getting a blank spot in it. But anyway. And then I'm just going to use a pen and I'm just going to write. So I'm just going to write signed on there. And then I'm just going to be collected by Detective James. Department number. I should have done that the other way around, but never mind. And then date collected, we're just going to do any old PM time, 9:42. And that's all I'm going to do on that. And then what I'm going to do is, I'm sorry if I'm sniffing, I've got the sniffles. I want to put let me just move those out of the way. Going onto my page like that, I want to create an evidence bag. Is that too wide? No, it's not actually, is it? Okay. And all I'm going to do is I've got some little charms. I was going to use the gun, but I wanted to put these little tabs on with numbers. So I'm just going to pop that into that evidence bag there. Big, the evidence bag. That one's slightly smaller, that one's slightly smaller. I did have a roll of small bags, but I can't find them. I had a roll of these tiny ones from my Etsy days, and I just can't find them anywhere. I may not have brought them here, to be honest. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop that on with a cheeky little staple there, just so it doesn't hinder the envelope if you want to put anything in the envelope. That makes sense. And there that is. So if we just get our signature, and I just open it where I want the page to be opened. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take that off. I'm going to finish that page. So I'm just going to stick that in the middle there. And I'm just going to glue that on. Just down here. On the end there. Just a little bit up. About 1/4 of an inch up. Just to give it some stability. And then I'm just going to stick that on the edge of my page and hold that down while we do it. Make sure it's level. So that's nicely glued on there now. I think that's come out lovely. I actually do. And I want to put just a little bit of boo-boo tape over that staple. I've got a little piece there. A nice little piece there. Let's just pop that on. And you are still going to be able to see it, but I just wanted to add a little bit extra. Yeah, I like the way that's come out. I did do one earlier. Oh, where did I put it? Is it further down? Here. Which I've done as a flip up, and I've popped a little tuck over that side and put a little charm, handcuff charm on there. So that's just a little tuck spot for a little piece of ephemera there. And then it brings us now to our last page, which is this. So I'm just going to make something quite simple and easy. Obviously I've done quite well with the lack of bulk this week, so I don't want to overly bulk it up. But it's just sort of, I'm just going to try a little policy envelope, I think. Oh, I wanted to put that fingerprint thing on there. So I'm just going to pop that into there. And then you've also got this quite big sized pocket as well. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a little flip up. Do I like that? Flip up and flip down, but policy close it. So that anything that you've got ephemera wise that you want to add extra into it, then you can. And it'll be at the back of your signature. So I think we'll do that. So I'm just going to mark where I need this to be. Now you don't want it butted right up to your score, your sewn in signature bit. You don't want to butt it right up to that. You want a little space. And then I'm hoping that I'm going to get it out of both pieces. So let's just see how we're going to get on. So I'm just going to cut that. And that's going to give me almost 3-inch flap. I don't know whether that's right or not. So that gives me that. But you'll have to do a 1/4 inch rather than 1/2 inch. And the same with that. I think I might just have enough. Might. So I just want to make that the same size. So just pop that off there. And then we'll just do a 1/4 inch score line, because I don't think I've left enough space. And that's the top. I'm going to do my score line that side. I'm just going to do a 1/4 inch. And then I'm going to do the bottom on this side to create my little flaps. Wrong way. And then so I'm just going to fold that in. Could have done with that being double-sided. I wonder if there's something we can do. Could have done with that being double-sided, really. Let's just see what that looks like, because we can come slightly in on there. And we can come slightly in on there. So it will give us a fold, which is great. Yeah, I need to do something, don't I, with that, with the backing. I don't like all that white. So I'm just going to back these sheets. Okay, so we've inked it up. I've backed the back and inked around it. I'm just going to edge those corners. Okay, so we've backed it. I've rounded the corners and I've inked. And then I'm just going to go ahead and that's how they're going to look. But first, I want to see what it would look like. Where's my bit from? I want to see if I want to put one in there. The tab. I think I do. I want to put these tabs on. So, and I want to put a hole reinforcer on. Let me just glue these tabs on first because I want to put holes in them. So let me just go there. And I don't mind which side it's on, so I'll just go and stick that onto there. Make sure it's straight on the back. There and there. And then we'll stick. Why is it that you line it up and then when you turn it over it doesn't look straight? Okay, I filled my glue up and it's going everywhere. So I want one on there, and then I think I'm going to have the other one on this side, on the inside. So I'll just stick a bit of glue there and then line that up. See what that looks like on the other side. There we go. And then I'll just get that glued on. That can be drying while we do the closures. So I'll let those dry before I put some holes in them. You want a policy closure done now. Oh, I like the fact that you can see that at the bottom, just about. So I want 2 circles. What size shall we use? Shall we go with a 1 1/4? I've got any black card. I might have. I think I fancy using the black now. Let's just see. Yeah. Let me see if that's too big. I think it is, isn't it? Is this the 1 inch? Let's try that one. Yeah, 1 inch, I think. I think we'll just use 1 inch, and I can't get out of there now. So we need several 1 inch because we want to do several of those. Doesn't matter that some of them are wrong. So we just want to put several together. 3. How many have I got? Okay, 3 will be enough, I think. 1, 2, and 3. So leave that 1 and that 1 1/2 there. And then, so I want different coloured reinforcers. So let's just have a look what we've got. Shall we have red? Although there's no other red on there, is there? Could have craft. Got these cool looking ones. I haven't got none of that paper left, otherwise I could have used yeah, I'll use craft, I think. That will look a bit better, at least. Yeah, so let's just glue these up. Okay, then we could try and get that in the middle. By doing that, switch that around a bit and then get that in the middle. Okay. Switch that around a bit and then just move it into the middle. Actually, that hole isn't in the middle of that reinforcer, so that hasn't helped at all. And I've moved it. Okay, that helps a little. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use the big hole punch, and then we're going to look for that hole in there, and we're going to do that. Same with this one. My glue was wet. And do that. Now that one's slightly off, so I'll try and correct it a little. And then what we're going to do is we're going to attach those to here. So the easiest way I know how is if we get the top and the bottom, I just want to measure just to gauge where my middle is, and it's about here. Yeah, about there is the middle. So I'm going to, I don't think I can go down. That isn't going to give it to me. Yeah, I'm going to have to get the big bite out. Okay, let me just move that. So what I want is I just want to get that line more or less in line with that. And then I want to bring that down. My big one here. So I want to bring it down to about there. Okay, now I'll need that because I'll need to pop these on. So for my lid, I want to pop that in, pop my eyelet in. But first I want to pop my string in. I'm going to pop my string into there and I pop my eyelet in. Sometimes it's a bit of a squeeze. Okay, and then I'm just going to move that to the setter. Attach that onto there and squash that in. Perfect. Now that string won't go anywhere. And then for this one, we want to do the same thing on here. So just get that in. And just screw that one. That's perfect. Just pop that away. Okay, so we've got our top and our bottom. And then it just means gluing that down. And then we just need to lift this off. So I'm just going to lift this one up a little. Just to give me, sometimes I put the smaller circles on the back, but because I wanted the look of the eyelets, I didn't do that. So I just want to pop these on in place. I'm going to pop the bottom one on first. So I'm just going to go down the middle because I don't want too much seepage. And then I'm just going to line that up, just up from the bottom and just in a little bit from the edge, but just an air, that's all. And then I'm just going to pop that on. Make sure it's level down that side. And down that side. Open it up and make sure you've got no seepage. There we go. And then on this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to close it. And I'll do the same. Just down the middle there. I'm going to come to the side. Keep your string out of the way. And I'm just going to put that on where I want it. I'm just going to, it's about right actually. Okay. And then that string will fit around these bits here. Yeah, I think I might want an eyelet in there. 2 eyelets. So I'm just going to make some eyelets, just so that I can pop in a charm. Oh, I really like that. I think that's come out lovely. Yes, I quite like that. So I think the last thing that I want to do is I just want to stick in the pocket here. So I'm just going to score the 1/4 inch, I think will be enough. Whoops. And 1/4 inch from there. Let's see if that'll fit. That will fit inside there now. Just nicely, actually. I'm not bothered about a gusset at the bottom, but I want a gusset at the sides. Even if it's just, so that you can get things in. I don't really want it to be any higher than that, so I'm going to round those corners. Doesn't matter which way up it goes, does it? Yeah, that's the right way. Yeah. That's a perfect fit, so I'm going to pop that in. Down there. Down the bottom here. And down this side. And then find your crease, which is a bit hard because I didn't ink it. There we go. Nope. There we go. Right down to the bottom there. There we go. And then I've got a couple of tags which I could pop in there for now, which will fit all the way down. And you could pop whatever you want in there, really. I think any leftover ephemera bits would be fine. So I've gone ahead and inked. I've cut my little string off that was on this end here, only because you don't need it on there, because this way of putting your string in is quite secure. So I've inked it because I'd forgotten to ink, so it looks a little bit better now. It was looking a bit, I don't know what it was actually. I think I'm rushing and I don't need to. So anyway, this is quite bare, but I like the idea of it being writing space because of this page. So I'm just going to do a little bit of a flat cluster, only because it'll take it, I think. So I found Reginald. What else did I have? I got a label. Well, it's not a label, but it is a label. It was a piece of cut off from the front pocket that I did earlier. I like this, but I want it to be sort of there. And actually, I think that'd be it. I don't think we need much more than that. I think we'll do that cluster inside there. I think that looks quite nice. Still leaves lots of writing space, and obviously you can put plenty of writing space in here too. So we'll go ahead and do that. So let's just remove him. This is the piece that needs to go on first. So we'll go ahead and pop that on. Now nothing needs to go behind it. So I think we'll stick that about there. Then we need to pop this label on. all of these pieces have been inked, so I'm actually okay. Just want to get him in the right place. So yeah, about there. Oh no, much further in. About there. That's it. Okay. Get it straight if you can. Then we can probably put Reginald on. Just leave that shoulder. And put a little bit of glue on. And put the evidence ticket in. I think we'll put clue on the bottom there. And we'll put evidence in there. And I want all the words showing. So I just sort of want it about there. Further in. Come on, Reggie. There we go. And I think that finishes that off quite nicely. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. And then we just get that all. There we go. Get our place back out. I like it. I hope you did too. I've thoroughly enjoyed making this today. I don't make these flippy flappy type policy envelopes enough really, and I just love them. I think they're just so easy to make, and you know, you can incorporate these anywhere for anything. So I hope you can take something away from that and incorporate those into your journals or signatures. Yeah, I'll be back on Friday with a complete flip through, anything that I've added, anything that I've, you know, taken away or whatever, or changed. I will show that in the final flip through video on Friday. But week 4 is suspicious activity and sleuths at work week. So I'm looking forward to that one. I wonder what Mandy's going to be making this week. I can't wait to find out. So join me then, and I'll be back on Friday. See you soon. Take care, and thanks so much for watching. Bye for now.